An enigma is a person, thing, or situation that is mysterious, puzzling, and difficult to understand or explain. You know, when I said I didn't want to explain myself, it's because I didn't know what to explain. I'm telling you that I don't understand. I don't want to explain why I am the way I am because I don't know. Okay, that's the true fact. I don't know. Hi guys, welcome back to another video. I hope you guys have been well, and I hope you watched my recent video. If you haven't, go back and watch that one first before you watch this one, because this video is a continuum of my last video, The Awkward Black Girl, where I'm going to be talking a bit more in depth about what it's like growing up as an awkward, weird, quirky black girl. I got really happy from the engagement I got from my last video, and I think by the time I upload this one, or maybe in a couple days after I upload this one, I think I will hit 1,000 views. Guys, this is like my most like engaged or like popular videos. I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited. I really feel like me releasing that video honestly just opened so much doors, not just for my YouTube channel but also for myself. Like, I feel like I can actually be more myself and authentic because I'm an awkward black girl. I think it took me actually making that video to realize and reflect on like myself when I was a young girl, a teenager, young adult that I am right now, to realize like, oh my gosh, I really was a weird black girl. Like, I did not actually I didn't really like, it's not that I wasn't accepting it, I just was so like, I was just like, oh wait, I actually was a weird black girl. I am a weird black girl, and not weird in the sense of like those like jealous and like, that's when we describe weird in that context, like that, the definition of weird itself is actually not bad, but the negative connotation of weird is like, you know, spiteful, jealous, not that type of weird black girl. I mean weird by like the actual definition of weird. Also, I know people have asked me what happened to my finger. I dropped a weight on it. I wedged my finger between the edge of my weight rack and the dumbbell. I was holding a 27 kilo dumbbell. I dropped the weight on top of my finger and wedged my finger right into the edge of the dumbbell rack, making me chip my bone. So I have a minor fracture. It's been about 4 weeks, I think. 4 weeks. Yes, it still hurts. So I'm supposed to take it off in about 2 weeks, but the way my healing isn't really healing, it's probably going to be on a bit longer. So for those who are wondering, that's what happened. I broke my finger. This video is going to be a lot more structured. I know in my other video I was just kind of not really ranting, I was going on a bit of a tangent or just explaining it in a very unstructured manner. But this video, I have a few points that I wanted to talk about. So this is the awkward black girl part 2. The first topic I want to talk about, or the first category I want to talk about, is friendships / socializing. So I grew up very introverted. I still am very introverted. I would consider myself an introvert, but also my life experience has also made me to have a few extroverted characteristics. But introversion, by its definition, is someone who draws their energy from being by themselves and just being in solitude. That's where we can recharge and reset. Whereas if you're someone who's an extrovert, you draw energy from being around people and socializing. So for me, naturally, it was always being in more solitude and spending time with myself. But as I got older and working in fast food and all this kind of, those environments that forced me to interact with people, it helped me adapt, but also learn to enjoy the presence of people. And in some way I do get recharged, but I also more likely will get depleted. So I find a little bit of energy, But after a very social day, or after just spending time with another person that isn't myself, I get really tired and then I have to recharge. Like yesterday, I went out with my sisters, we went to K barbecue, and by the time the evening came, I was done. I literally took a shower and I left everyone and I went to stay in my room. That's how I recharge. Because being around people does drain me. Like social settings can be very draining for me. I think it's as simple as that. It can be very, very draining. And I think with also being an introvert or being an awkward black girl, I feel like most awkward black girls are very introverted, but there are awkward black girls who are very extroverted. They just present very differently, but you would typically see that the more awkward, shy black girls are typically introverted. I know people say things like, oh, but you know, you're so good at talking to people, you can hold a really good conversation. It's like that's something I've been socialized to do, so I've learned to be able to be a social person, but I will very much want to go by myself or go home to be by myself at the end of our interaction, and I probably won't see you for another few months. So yeah. Also, I'm also another part of being like with socializing and friendships and stuff is being misunderstood. What I was trying to say actually was that when you're someone who is very comfortable being by yourself, or you like to be more in solitude, you can be misunderstood, but also being introverted. Like sometimes you don't always want to talk, and sometimes you don't really have anything to say, and sometimes, a lot of times really, you get misunderstood and people will see that as, oh, she's mean. People misunderstand you quite often because they would take things like your awkwardness or your willingness to not start a conversation or even continue a conversation as being rude, disrespectful, stuck up, bougie, and all these other terminologies. I also found myself like hiding my interests and hobbies because I got made fun of quite a bit. Like I grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood. I went to a lot of white schools, or predominantly white schools, or schools where I was like one of few, or the only black person, or the only black girl. And I obviously, like my environment, I am a product of my environment. So I didn't sound a certain type of way, or I didn't, I don't even know how to explain it. I just probably had more white behaviors than black behaviors, which sounds so silly because there's absolutely no such thing. I do know culture does have a bit of an has quite a lot of an influence and an impact as to how we interact with the world. I'm very, very well aware of that, but I don't think there's a way that a person can act white or act black. Like, yes, there's vernaculars and there are lingos that help identify the kind of group a person may belong to, but that doesn't necessarily reflect them or their identity. Like if I'm using more, let's say, black vernaculars or lingos, you can say, okay, she's from this certain group. You can easily identify me as to belonging to a certain type of group. As future editing light, I was going back and I'm like, I feel like my point wasn't made clearly. What I was trying to essentially articulate was that being black does not rid you from your own individual uniqueness and identity. I am black because, hello, and I grew up in the culture and the environment and the history of black people, African history, and I am actually an indigenous African. I was born in Africa, but I grew up in Australia. So obviously I sound different or I talk a type of way because I'm a product of my environment. However, that does not rid me of being black or my experiences as a black person. I'm still a black person, but I'm also my own unique person as a black person. So I think that's what I was trying to say. Like, black is not an aesthetic, white is not an aesthetic. It's a way of which people are brought up and the customs of which they're brought up in their environment. So it doesn't make me less black or more white, because what in the world is that? Anyways, I'm going to leave that there. But it was very damaging. Yeah, hang on. I'm losing my train of thought. Yes, I got teased. I got called an Oreo. I got called a coconut. I even got called a panda. Why? Because I told a group of black people that I loved anime, I loved K-pop, and I was really into Japanese culture. And so they're like, oh, you're like a panda, you know, black and Asian. Such a weird thing to call a person. But I got called that, and my name is Light, by the way. So I would even get teased by black people, like, why is your name Light? If you're dark skin or you're black, like your name should oh, I have so much trauma around that. So I was getting teased. What was I talking about? Introversion, being misunderstood. Yeah, I got teased a lot. I got teased like quite a lot. Even like I said, I got teased for my hair, my natural hair. I got really teased. What I will do as I talk, I'm gonna like post like photos of me when I was like a teenager. I remember like on Instagram and Pinterest, there was this type of style of like artistic editing you'll do with your photos, and I loved that. Like that was literally my Instagram, and I absolutely loved it. I did have a few black female like creators that I would draw a lot of my inspiration from. Even a few white girls too, and I really like that grunge, emo, ditzy kind of style of photos or editing of my photos. So I really loved that. A very interesting style. Obviously, I was still trying to figure out my style, but I was more like tomboyish leaning. I didn't really wear dresses or skirts until I was like 18, 19, 20 was when I really started getting into it. Obviously, like I wouldn't really say I had body image issues, but I was still growing, and I had this understanding that I didn't look like the girls I saw on Instagram. So I was like, I can't dress like that. I don't feel comfortable dressing like that. So maybe, I think I was also a teenager. Like you still experience things like self-acceptance and loving your body and yada, yada, yada. So I wasn't really into wearing dresses and skirts. I was more into like pants, oversized things. I really like that. So I was comfortable in that. And how I dressed also was a reflection of me expressing myself, really. Like that's just how I expressed myself. More tomboyish, but I still tapped into like a lot of girly things. But in terms of like dressing, I was really more into like jeans, trackies, all that good stuff. Mainly because it was comfortable and functionality, and yeah. But after getting teased and being called those like horrendous names, I would hide my interests and hobbies, because it's not fun being teased, and it's not fun when the things you like are being like made fun of. Like it's not fun, it's not a nice experience. But I still enjoyed those things, so I never stopped doing them. I just stopped telling people about them. But then when I had people, I would never bring it up. Like usually if I was in a setting and someone mentioned K-pop, then I would talk about it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you love K-pop, I love K-pop too. You like anime, I love anime too. But I would never be the one to go ahead and say, oh yeah, I like this, because I don't know if I'm in enemy territory. Like I very much was always in enemy territory. I was fighting for my life. All my life I had to fight. Even though I was hiding my interests to like just protect myself, I was in the same way dimming my light. Like I wasn't as expressive, I wasn't as, open and free to just share the things that I liked and the things that made me me. So I was ultimately dimming my light. Like my friends, like my closest friends, as I was like entering adulthood and stuff, they didn't like any of the things that I liked. So I would only talk to my sister about like K-pop and K-dramas, and like even like that was the only person who really got me on and understood me and shared interests with those things. Like it was literally my sister. Like my friends, I think I had one friend for a short period of time where we would talk about K-dramas, and I just loved it. Like my eyes literally light up when I don't know where I am, whether I'm like in a new environment or I'm in a new space with somebody or a group of people, and then somebody brings up like K-dramas, my eyes literally light up and I start glowing, because I'm like, oh my gosh, tell me what is your favorite K-drama. And my boyfriend knows this. Like whenever, like I remember like when I was getting to know his family and stuff, one auntie was talking about K-dramas. She mentioned it and I literally started, that's him texting me. I literally started smiling ear to ear. I was like, let me tell you, I've been in this game since 2012, okay? I have been a committed K-drama, K-pop fan, I think since 2010, but I've been in this game for more than 14 years, okay? So don't talk to me about nothing. Don't talk to me about nothing, okay? Even me, like, I'm getting so hyped talking about it because I love K-dramas. I have a few that are that are backlogged that I need to finish and catch up on. Yeah. Me and K-dramas. I love K-dramas. When I'm pregnant, that's all I'm gonna do is watch K-dramas, and my manager's gonna give me food. And obviously I'll shower, all that kind of stuff, you know, take care of myself, go on my walks and come home and binge for hours. Because I love K-dramas. I have rewatched 60 episode K-dramas like 2 or 3 times. I'm committed to this game. I am not new to this. I'm true to this. Like I've already gone on a tangent, but I love K-dramas. And I just love when you like talk to somebody about like a show you're watching together. You're like, oh my gosh, like oh, okay, yeah. And just not feeling fully accepted, because if you don't like these things, if you don't appreciate these things, or if you're like talking, like making jokes about my interests, like you don't accept me, I would take that. And I understand that people don't exactly have to like the things you like, but you can still show interest a little bit, or you can even not make fun of me for the things that I like. Like, my boyfriend loves boxing, right? He loves watching videos about boxing. I don't hate boxing. It's not really my interest, doesn't pique my interest, but if he tells me about it, I'll listen to him. And hang on, my lip gloss. And I'll even watch videos about it, like, because that's what he likes. Like, you don't need to understand why I like what I like, or, you know, well, you don't have to understand what I like, but still respect me and my interest, because we are like this, okay? Sorry, I can't do on that finger. We are like this. Yeah, it can be a bit difficult, like especially with socializing, you just being yourself, and even how you present yourself. Like, people definitely judge you based on how you present yourself. That was pretty much my experience in terms of socializing. Making friends wasn't too hard. I would make a few friends with some quirky, weird girls, black girls, but most of my friends were very extroverted, not really introverted. I think that's usually just the balance of it. But I did have a few, you know, quirky black girls, which I honestly enjoyed more being around them, because they understood me and we had more similar interests. But my extroverted friends were really fun to be around, so I wasn't upset, but it was kind of like a trade-off, you know? It just felt like a trade-off, like you're going to have this but not have this, and you're going to not have this but you're going to have this. Yeah, but I enjoyed that. I'm more leaning to introverts. I like introverted people. They're calming. I love people who can keep me calm. Like, I love high-spirited people, but only in small doses. No hate to my extroverts. I love you guys, but y'all are a lot. And I'm not saying you're too much. I'm just saying you're a lot. My introverts will understand. Yeah, so I think the next category I want to go into is dating. Dating was a bit interesting. Like, I didn't really date like that in my teenage years, in my early 20s. Like, I was really fearful of dating, not because I was like afraid of being rejected, and I mean in the sense of like someone saying like, no, I don't like you, but more so in the sense of being rejected for being weird. Like, I had this really weird, what's that word? Irrational fear of that. Like, people will look at me and be like, oh, she is pretty, or she's this, she's that, and then they really, really get to know when they're like, oh. Like, the core of me, like the core of who I am is going to be rejected, and that was really scary. So I really avoided dating quite a lot. Like I knew there'll be people who had interest in me, but I never bothered to like entertain it, mainly because I was like, you guys have ill intentions, so I don't want to put myself through that at all. And also I feel like people had very superficial and not so good motivations, so that was also another thing that deterred me from that. And just like this whole like dating scene is a mess. Like I just felt like people didn't really like me for me, and I'm also very weird, so it's like if you're gonna like me, you also have to accept like my quirkiness and my weirdness. Like don't be fooled by this. I'm very weird, very very weird, and random interests, and yeah, that is me. So you're either with it or you're without me. Yeah. I ran a strict program over here, okay? Very strict program. So that was kind of like how I was going about it. And I didn't really like forthcoming men. Like I know people like, oh, like I want a man who's very confident, and I don't like that. That's very off-putting to me, actually. Like, why are you trying to sell yourself to me? It's very weird. And I again don't like extroverted people. Like as friends, cool, but extroverted, I knew very early on I don't want an extroverted person. I know they say, but introverts and extroverts. No, let me be the extrovert, but I need someone who's very introverted, and that is my man. And I love him, and I love the dynamic we have. But I really didn't like that. It actually would chase me away. Like if you as a man, you came up to me like you were just coming on like super like, I don't want to use the word hard, but I'm gonna say that, like really really aggressive. Ew. Go away from me, you scary creature. Yeah. And just not having similar interests or common interests, like not having anything similar to relate to. Like I would love, like my mom doesn't, I think he used to watch anime, but like back then I would have loved to have like, you know, maybe like talk to someone who loved anime, and they could put me on some anime and I could put them on some anime. I would have really enjoyed that. Then, but it was really hard to find. All the other than that, if you did, yeah, just no. Yeah, but yeah, just being viewed but not really seen. Like I'm more than just a pretty face. Like that's just has always been my mantra. Like there's actually more to me. Like whatever you see externally is actually the least important thing about me. Matter of fact, it's a cherry on top, but there's like a way more to me. And you know, being young and living in a very like superficial, even old, you don't even have to be young, but just living in a superficial society, like that really takes a toll on how people really perceive you and how you feel perceived and accepted. And I did do this, but I stopped very quickly with having to conform to be accepted. I was like, okay, like I can present myself in a certain way. I can present myself that fits the stereotypes. I can present myself in a way that attracts people, always more desirable. And I can get whoever, like I can get a guy, I guess. Like if I do this, or I show up as this way, or I dress this way, I do my hair this type of way, and I wear my makeup this type of way. And I can do all that, but having to keep up with that false image would just be so tiring. And I'm like, I don't want to have to perform, and I don't want to have to put on an act constantly just so I can be accepted. Like, I don't think people understand how draining that is. Even in friendships, it's really, really draining when you have to show up as the person that they want you to be and not the person that you are, and in a way that they can accept. Like, not even a way, and that they accept. Like, I can show up as a friend that you want me to be, but then I'm doing a disservice to myself and to you, because you're not actually experiencing the wholeness and the authenticity of the essence of myself, right? But I'm showing up as the person that you want. So I'm not even being a true friend. And in the same breath, I'm not being a true partner, because I'm lying to you and I'm lying to myself. And you're also lying to yourself. So I would rather be accepted for who I am, how I am, whatever I am, and be able to grow and evolve that way than having to pretend. Like, pretending is so tiring. Faking is so tiring. And I don't want to do that. Like, life is already challenging in itself. Why would I fake to be accepted? Like, I don't agree with this whole fake it till you make it, because they're going to be like, wow, you lied to me. You're not even this type of person. When we just both wasted our time. So that was just also like just a barrier. And I was like, I don't want to have to conform. I just don't want to do that. And like, I love that with myself. I accept myself. And with my partner, he always will tell me like, I love it when you're yourself. Like, I want you to always take care of yourself and always show up as the best version of you. And that's not perfect, but that also includes the flaws and weaknesses. So the next category I want to talk about is the journey of finding myself. So navigating being an awkward, weird black girl in this society and in the black community, or in all communities that you're proximal to, is very, very chaotic, right? Like, you constantly having to choose between being accepted and others accepting you, and you also accepting yourself. Like, it's very, very tiring, especially when you are actually a minority in a majority group. So you may do things like conform, you may do things like shapeshift, or even code switch. I don't even say, I obviously I do code switch, but I also sound the same way I do when I'm talking to customers. So I don't really know if I'm really code switching, but I do code switch. Like, I would be lying if I said I didn't code switch. But how I sound when I'm doing business, or when I'm, talking in customer service, exact way how I sound to you. But obviously with code switching, it's not just changing the octave and your intonations when you speak, it's also your mannerisms. So in terms of mannerisms, they are very different. When I'm with black people, when I'm with white people, when I'm with non-black people, but other people of color, it changes. Like, we all code switch just to fit in and to be respectable. So it's normal, but constantly code switching to constantly fit in is very tiring. Okay, I would not recommend it at all. And with societal standards, like, we always hear black women are blueprint. I still stand on that. I still stand on us being a blueprint. However, we live in a society where the beauty standard actively works against us, even though we are the blueprint. Crazy. That's a video for another day. But having to fight against that, the standards, like, when they see black people, they think of us, maybe not now as much, because black people have hardworkingly paved the way to be seen and to be viewed as equals in this white society. So it's not so much of a surprise, but people still do get surprised when you're black and you're well-spoken, you're well-educated, you're well-respectful. If you come from a black household, a healthy black household, or an African household, or even people of ethnic backgrounds, our values are very, very strong in respectability, discipline, and kindness, and just being loving, right? Just the culture itself is just being respectful to one another. So that's kind of a given in somewhat functioning households. Even if your family's not functioning or dysfunctional, you still have somewhat of a standard to be respectful to your elders. Like, for us, being respectful to your elders, and also being respectful to your co-workers, your counterparts, has something that's heavily been driven in my brain from my mom. She said, you're black, okay, you're African, they're already going to look at you in such a negative way, but you need to do your due diligence in being respectful in everything you do. And she didn't always scream excellence, but she would always tell me that you need to show up as someone who deserves to be there. So you have to behave a certain type of way, be better than them. That's one thing she would always tell me, be better than them, and not just like in my work or in my talents, but be better than them in your character. Be better than them in the way that you treat people. Be better than them in the way you speak. You need to be better so they don't have anything to say against you. So there's that standard, but we have actively fought against it and still are fighting against it. So we have our place here. We've made our place here, and we've shown to the world that we deserve to be here. We deserve the same treatment, the same accolades, the same respect as our white counterparts, because we work hard, if not harder, to be where we are. So having to have that barrier, be there, but also when you're not maybe fitting, or you're not, behaving in a way that fits them, you definitely can fight with yourself a lot with that. But yeah, I definitely had to learn to find myself in spite of those barriers and in spite of those obstacles and disappointment. Like with being an awkward Black girl, I did experience quite a lot of disappointment. And a lot of that disappointment came from being misunderstood, especially by people who should understand me, or by communities that should accept me because I'm a part of you. Like, I'm Black, I'm cultured, I am one with every single one of you, and just not experiencing that, or to the level that you expected, can be very disappointing. And especially when you're a Black person, or when you grow up from a different culture, it's disappointing. It's disappointing to be teased. It's disappointing to be accepted. It's disappointing to be made fun of. It's disappointed to be outcasted, and sometimes even being an outlier or being an anomaly can be disappointing, because nobody praises you for it. Nobody, shows you love for it. You just are just there. But if anything, that has really encouraged me more to love myself, and also learning to love other unique, weird, quirky, ditzy Black girls. Like, I would sometimes project. I wouldn't say anything, but I would have this internal mentality of like, oh, like, she's weird. But I was really just projecting, because they were doing the thing that I couldn't, and that was be bold and unapologetic with being myself, being expressive. Now I've worked on it. When I see other Black girls, I love seeing like weird, quirky, Black, awkward girls. Like, I love to see them. I love them to the core. I love every version of Black women that I see. Like, I see the baddies, and I see like the clean girl and whatever. Like, we're all clean. If you are showering and you're moisturizing, you are a clean girl. Okay, clean girl is just a rebrand for not being dirty. Just how crazy being clean became an aesthetic. That means you guys are dirty. Like, that's how I see it. But I just love seeing all types of Black girls. I love seeing the Black girls with their stripy rainbow socks. And I know people are like, yes, I don't care. And your grunge. And I think there was, I saw this Black girl. There's a Harajuku doll, that kind of aesthetic. Sorry, I literally was like, my brain was dysfunctioning. Harajuku doll aesthetic. Like, I've seen Black girls, and I'm like, yes, where are your bantu knots? I love to see it. Like, I literally am like, I love to see every Black girl being themselves and being different. Like, I love to see it. Give it to me. Give it to me. I love it. I love it. Like, because I'm like, we are evolving. Like, when I see that we are evolving, and I'm just like, I don't think I have photos, but I had like purple hair, purple braids at one point. Like, one of these days I'm gonna wear a pink wig, okay? I'm gonna have pink braids. One of these days, I don't know when, but I'm gonna have pink braids, because that's how I love to express myself, okay? Very colorful, very, very colorful. I even had locks. I had orange locks. Loved it. Mwah, tea, everything. I loved it. I looked super cute. I always got called cute, but I was super cute, like an anime girl. I loved it. It's really helped me finding people who are embracing themselves helps me to accept myself even more and accept them even more. And I love it, love it, love it. I also want to say, I think that'll probably be a different video, but my last category is going to be adulthood. So navigating adulthood as an awkward, weird black girl. I'm only just kind of embracing that more. I'll probably say last year, really tapping into who I am, and that's a weird, awkward black girl, right? That's just me, and I love it. I ain't got no problems, and if you do, you can go kick rocks. Thank you. But navigating self-acceptance more and being more attuned with my authentic self. Like, one thing I really want to do this year, and more as I get older and stuff, is to show up exactly how I feel like showing up. Not how I feel like how I should show up as, or how people expect me to. Like, I want to show up exactly how I feel like showing up. Not emotions, but what is natural and what is intrinsic to me. So hopefully you guys are going to start seeing that more in my content and also in my fashion. Like, I really want to get into fashion again, like really get into fashion. Like, I know how to dress, but I really want to elevate my style. So as I do that, I hope you guys can also be witness to my evolution as an awkward, weird black girl, because we're not getting out of that, because that's always been me. And just understanding, or at least what I'm understanding, is that it's actually okay to be misunderstood as long as you accept you. Like, not everybody's going to fully accept you, not everybody's going to fully understand you. That's totally fine, because we are complex human beings. We are so different, but beautifully different in the same ways. So it's okay. Like, there should only be one person who fully understands you, and that's you. And even if you don't understand yourself, that is okay. I'm an enigma, right? One comment I'd always say is that I love when people try to figure me out, because I'm still trying to figure me out too. Like, you're trying to figure me out, I'm trying to figure me out. I don't know what the hell's going on. You don't know what the hell's going on. We're in the same boat, hunty. We are in the same boat, baby. We're in the same boat. I don't know what's going on. I don't even know the kind of person I'm gonna wake up as tomorrow. I don't. It doesn't matter. Like, I'm an enigma, right? Enigma, like, let me get the definition. I'm an enigma. I figured that I was an enigma. An enigma is a person, thing, or situation that is mysterious, puzzling, and difficult to understand or explain. You know, when I said I didn't want to explain myself, it's because I didn't know what to explain. I'm telling you that I don't understand. I don't want to explain why I am the way I am, because I don't know. Okay, that's the true fact. I don't know. Angeko. Yeah, I'm an enigma. Mysterious. Very mysterious. And my favorite mantra is I'm just existing. My boyfriend said that when he read that, he thought it was like sad. I said, no, I'm just existing. Like, I that is my standard, is to just exist, and in whatever form, way that is, that's how I'm gonna do. If you ask me, what do you do for a living, I'll tell you my best, and I exist. But as I navigate self-acceptance, I hope to unlock more unique but equally valuable versions of light. And also, my hope is to create space for other black and non-black women, but I want to say black women because a lot of groups, I'll say more white groups, they hold space for white women to be themselves and quirky, but not so much black women or groups or people of color groups. So my hope is to really make space for us and to allow freedom and liberty to be ourselves and fully accepted, and understanding the things we don't understand and misunderstanding the things we misunderstand. Okay, yeah, doesn't make sense, but it makes sense in my head, and that's all that matters. yeah, that is moi. I also want to put in maybe like additional talking points. Another thing that I was probably struggling with was like my mental health. I like in my teenage years, I like experienced a lot of depression and anxiety. So how I was showing up was simply a reflection of just how I was feeling. Like if I was showing up as very grungy, that's because I was in the blues. And if I was anxious, you know, whatever. But that was a lot of the things that, like, I was struggling with a lot of mental health in my teenage years and early adulthood years. So that really made it difficult for me to show up the way I wanted to show up, because I was already fighting an internal battle. So there was a lot of push pull and struggle and fight that I had to do. I'm in a better place, a really, really good place now, where I can manage my symptoms and manage my mental health a lot better. Mental health is not a negative thing. That's just the state of our mental. But my mental health was really bad. I am also somebody who has bipolar. So that is basically the sum of my life experience: depression and anxiety and mania. So I do sometimes struggle with that. Actually, I struggle with bipolar every day. It's actually a struggle every day. But I think sometimes when I'm super manic, I can be very, very like bubbly. And then when it comes time to, like, let's say I'm not in a good mood or I'm not feeling well, or I'm having like a depressive episode, people misunderstand me. People misunderstand, because I'm like, I'm both. Like, I don't know how to explain it to you. I'm not this way only or that way only. I'm both. So having to navigate like being around people with a mental health condition is also something that can make you show up very, very differently. So I will talk more about having bipolar maybe in another video. I want to be open about it because it does affect my life a lot. It plays a huge role in how I am in everyday life, and I want to be super transparent about it. It's nothing that I'm ashamed of. It just happens. I am taking good care of myself. I have a lot of support around me to ensure that I thrive and I experience life in a very fulfilling way. But yeah, when you have bipolar, like it people can get wrong impressions about you. Like, I can be super manic and then make plans, and when plans come, I'm just like, that was my manic self, babe. That was I'm not the same person I was 3 days ago, okay? I'm a whole new person. Yeah, I'll talk more about it, but having a mental health condition can really, really affect the way you socialize. It can affect your relationships. It can affect just your relationship with yourself. But it doesn't change me as a person. I want to say that. It doesn't change me as a person. I've learned to embrace it. This is also a quirk of mine. So I'm learning to accept and embrace that even more. But that brings me to the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If I make a part 3, then it will be an official series, but I'm not sure, unless you guys have more things that you would want me to talk about. If not, it would just be a part 2. And I really, really hope you guys enjoyed. This is a lot more structured, and I talked more about things I need to talk about. So hopefully I condensed everything pretty well and made it more structured. I think that's all I can say. Yeah, but I really thank you guys for the engagement. Like, oh my gosh, I really, really thank you guys so much for the engagement and the views. Please share, like, and comment. I love talking to you guys in my comment section. I am a commenter. When I watch people's videos, I'm in the comments. I don't care if nobody replies. I'm going to drop a comment, right? I love commenting. So please comment in my videos, like and share to another awkward black girl, and hopefully we can build a bigger community. Oh, also an additional point I wanted to add to the bipolar is that you will notice that my energy changes in my videos. So right now I feel very calm. This is light, like this is baseline me. Some videos you might see me to be very, very, very high energy, super talkative, da da da. That's me manic. Some days you might see me be a bit low energy. That's me more in like a depressive episode. Like I can still function, but my energy will be very different. So it's not that I'm being forced to make video. I'm still me, just going through something. So please understand. And if I'm not posting consistently, please also take that into a huge account and as a huge contributing factor, because my moods definitely do affect how I am productive. So please be mindful of that. But I'm going to end this video here, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.